Thank you. We are now going to ask you some questions about your speech. You mentioned the tradition of taking off shoes in Japan. Can you explain a bit more about how this brings value to modern life?
Well, I think that the tradition of taking off our shoes when we enter other people's homes or sacred places is an important part of respect. We're respecting other people or places by trying to make sure we do not bring in dirt from outside. On a personal and practical level, when we take off our shoes before entering our own homes, our cleaning duties are lighter. If I kept my shoes on at home, I'd have to clean a lot more often than I do now.
In addition to your example of women walking behind men, do you have any other ideas about traditions that you think are not worth preserving?
Certainly, the Japanese tradition of sending New Year's cards is one that is becoming less popular. Particularly among young people, Japanese people send many cards to friends, acquaintances, and business connections. Some of my friends, however, prefer to send an email from their computers or messages from their cell phones. These options are quicker, cheaper, and more environmentally friendly. In this case, I think people should be allowed to choose whether they want to send cards or not, and society should stop pressuring people to preserve this tradition.
And do you feel the same way about summer and New Year's gifts?
Yes, those traditions can place a big financial burden on people and create an uncomfortable relationship of obligation. In addition, sometimes people end up with things they do not want or use. This tradition causes a lot of wasteful and unnecessary spending in society. I think that people should find other ways to build and maintain relationships.
You've talked quite a bit about which traditions to preserve. What do you think is the best way to preserve those traditions?
Actually, I think that the home is the best place to preserve and pass on traditions. If children see that their parents value traditions such as cleaning the house at New Year or bowing to show respect, then children will continue these traditions in the future. Of course, schools also have a role to play, as do museums and cultural promotion groups, including tea ceremony clubs and so on. And of course, if the government and companies give funding to these groups, it becomes easier to get people interested in different traditions. But I think that the starting point for preserving traditions is at home.
Now, I'd like to move slightly away from the topic. You briefly mentioned the role of school. I would like to ask whether you think it's important for Japanese schools to teach Japanese history.
Yes, definitely. I think schools have a responsibility to educate their students about our country's history. With this knowledge, students can better understand the world around them, and it will also give them a better idea of what direction their country should take in the future.
All right, your time is up. That is the end of that test. Could I have the card back, please? Thank you very much. You may go now.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Have a nice day.